Namaskar. I am sharing with you my insight into some selected verses of the Geeta. Today we'll take up chapters 10 and 11. Verses 4 and 5 of chapter 10. Buddhi Jnanam Sammoha Kshama Satyam Damah Shamaha Sukham Dukkham Bhavo Bhavo Bhayam Cha Bhayamev Cha अहिंसा समता तुष्टिस्तपोदानं यशो यशः भवन्ति भावा भूतानां मत्त एव पृथग्विधाः. Literal meaning: all the different vikaras, that is mental and behavioral responses like intellect, wisdom, freedom from illusion, forgiveness, truth, control over sense organs, control over mind, pleasures, pains, creation, destruction, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, even-mindedness, satiation, penance, charity, success, failure, arise from me only. Practical insight. Here is a verse that drives home the concept that everything arises from one principle, call it God or whatever. It is just like ripples and waves on the ocean, a temporary transformation of consciousness. A dream is merely a play of consciousness with nothing happening physically, and yet the experience is perceived as real so long as the dream lasts. Similarly, our life in this physical world is also like that. Transitory transformations of consciousness that give an illusory perception of physical world and the myriad objects, as also the sensory experiences that we get. Verse 15 of chapter 10. Swayamevatmanatmanam vitthatvam purushottama bhutabhavana bhutesha devadeva jagatpate. Literal meaning: O Bhagavan, you understand yourself by means of your own power. Practical insight. A seeker needs the grace of God to get the spiritual insight that leads to the higher understanding of the Creator and the creation. This is an extension of the concept that all the creation and everything that we seem to be perceiving is all arising from just the one divine principle or universal consciousness. So even spiritual enlightenment that a seeker receives must be a transformation of that one consciousness. A sincere seeker of such enlightenment must surrender himself to that divine principle. It essentially means that the seeker's mental attitude must be one of total open receptivity so that he can receive that enlightenment. It is the divine inside that needs to awaken and realize itself. But yes, who will pursue that path, why and when, may in the best case be dependent on the divine plan for this creation. In the worst case, it may be just something quite random, albeit like a draw of lots. So a seeker who gets inspired to pursue this path should pursue it in his own natural way, and more importantly, he must not want or even wish that some loved ones of his also should pursue the same path. Just leave them to the divine plan. Chapter 10 is over. We'll go to chapter 11. Verses 7 and 8 of chapter 11. इहैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं पश्याद्य सचराचरं मम देहे गुडाकेश यच्चान्यद्द्रष्टुमिच्छसि न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुं नेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्. Literal meaning: O Arjuna, behold all this universe with moving and unmoving objects and whatever else you wish to see in one place in my body. But you will not be able to see me with your ordinary eyes, so I will give you divine eyes, and then you can see my divine power. Practical insight: this chapter is about the Vishwarup Darshan, that is a view of universal form of the divine with all the physical creation appearing as a part of the divine figure. This darshan is given to Arjuna by the Lord. This darshan, that is view, was to convince Arjuna that everything that we perceive in this creation is a part of the singular divine principle. But that darshan could not be experienced with the ordinary eyesight. It needed a special insight, kind of a direct perception without the use of external eyes. So the Lord grants Arjuna that kind of inner vision to be able to perceive the darshan. Since the Lord was Arjuna's guru, this can also be understood to mean that we need a guru to change our perception from the ordinary to the extraordinary so that we can be enlightened. Verses 33 and 34 of chapter 11. Tasmat tvamuttishta yasholabhasva jitva shatrun bhunkukshva rajyam samruddham mayai vaite nihataha पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भवसव्यसाचिन् द्रोणञ्च भीष्मञ्च जयद्रथञ्च कर्णन् तथान्यानपि योधवीरान् मया हतांस्त्वं जहिमा व्यथिष्ठा युध्यस्व जेतासि रणे सपत्नान्. Literal meaning: Therefore, O Arjuna, get up, be the victor, and vanquish the enemy to enjoy the entire kingdom. I have already killed them. You should just be the front and simply be an instrument. I have already killed Drona, Bhishma, Jayadrath, Karna, and other great warriors. You kill them. Do not be sad. Fight. You will vanquish the enemies. Practical insight: the whole drama of creation is prescripted and it will run its course as per that script. Each one of us has to play his or her role, whether we like it or not. The question that may then arise is the following: if the whole thing is prescripted, why is Lord Krishna asking Arjun to get up and fight? Wouldn't Arjun be forced to do it anyway, because he has to play as per the script? On the face of it, this question appears very legitimate. But the deeper explanation is as follows. We may be acting out a script, but yet our conditioned mind has its own view of whatever has happened, is happening, and what should happen. Our conditioned view has no meaning or relevance, though, as regards what will actually be happening. And when things happen against our wish, we agonize without appreciating that there is a script running and we have little control over the life's events. It is on this background that we have to understand why Shri Krishna is still telling Arjun to do something, namely rise and fight. The Lord is essentially telling Arjun to put aside his conditioned thinking that is causing him to agonize over what will happen if he fights and ends up killing his gurus, elders, and relatives. He is telling Arjun to simply flow with the current, as it were, without bothering about where the current will lead him to. Verses 45, 54, and 55 of chapter 11. अदृष्टपूर्वं हृषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास भक्त्या त्वनन्यया शक्य अहमेवं विधोऽर्जुन ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप मत्कर्म कृत् मत्परमो मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पाण्डव. Literal meaning: O Lord of Lords, I am very happy seeing the Vishwarupa that I had never seen earlier, and then my mind became extremely troubled by fear. Hence, O Bhagavan, please let me have your grace and let me see your previous form, that is the normal form. O Arjuna, bhakti in complete surrender is the only means for really understanding, seeing, and merging with my Vishwarup. O Arjuna, only that bhakta who engages in karma for my purpose, for whom I am everything, who experiences no mental ups and downs, and who has no animosity towards any beings, attains me. Practical insight: after experiencing the all-pervading singular Godhead principle in the form of Vishwarup, Arjun longs for the normal form of Sri Krishna. This seems to indicate that an ordinary embodied soul living in this physical world is comfortable with the ordinary that he is used to. He is not comfortable with anything that is extraordinary. This is the reason why most people are comfortable leading a normal worldly life and do not care much for the spiritual. Shri Krishna then assumes the normal form again and tells Arjun that the only way a seeker can be comfortable with the singular concept represented by Vishwarup is through bhakti in total God consciousness without any feeling of duality whatsoever. So long as one has even the slightest world consciousness with his physical body in it, the real spiritual experience of oneness cannot be had. Chapter 11 is over here. I'll see you the next time with chapter 12. Until then, bye. Take care.